Okay, well, today we're going to be tying this little fly here. I like to call it the miracle minnow. And the reason why I call it that is because I attach this marabou on up right behind the bead. And underneath here, it's kind of got like a little belly sack made out of dubbing that looks just like smelt or a really small fish baby in the water, because when they're tiny they're almost translucent and you can kind of see their guts and stuff inside. And that's what this time of year fish are keying in on, because throughout the winter and spring here there's going to be fish that are spawning and little baby fish swimming all around. So this pattern works extremely well. I just have yet to make a video of how to make it. So here it is. Very simple, nice and easy. The hook we are using is a Umpqua 204 size 14. This is a double long hook. The bead we are using on there is a 3/32 white bead. I don't have a brand on those because I got them out of a clearance bin. And our marabou is strung marabou pearl gray. And that little bit of orange up underneath there is dead orange out of this Sow Scud #2 dubbing box. Our thread that we'll be tying it all on there with will be this Rusty Dunn Uni 72 denier thread. And I think that's all on the parts and pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the vise, get a fresh bead in there with the hook, and we'll go ahead and get started. Make our wraps right behind the bead, as you can see here. Get it secured on there. Get our little trim off tool. Ditch that. We'll grab our lead wire here. This is the important part. Get it up inside that bead and wrapping your way back here. And you want to take this lead about halfway, and then I'm going to trim it off. The end of my whip finish tool here I have turned into like a knife or a chisel, so that way I can trim this off like that and continue a nice little taper without having to smash anything with my fingernails or anything like that. So I can make a nice tapered shape of a body going back up here to the front. Doesn't have to be perfect, you just got to cover up the shiny bits of that lead a little bit. This is just to kind of hide some of that hook. Even though I don't really think the hook matters, the fish don't see it anyways. They just tack this thing. So now that we're just towards the bead from halfway on the hook, I'm going to grab some of this dead orange here. Dead orange Sow Scud dubbing. And I'm going to make a really tight dubbing noodle on my thread. And I'm just going to make a nice little kind of egg slash stomach pattern piece bead. I don't know what you want to call it, a lump belly right there in the middle. And I'm going to advance my thread right back up to behind the bead. Time to choose a little bit of this marabou now, because it doesn't take much to do one of these. It just takes a little bit to do it. So I'll tend to just grab some fibers out of there, but I'll always choose the bad looking ones, because I want the good looking ones for bigger flies. This one doesn't require a lot. So like you can see that this is a relatively large piece of marabou. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to go right about here in the center of it. I'm going to trim out a chunk, and that'll be our start piece. Right there. Just keep our thread nice and tight to keep it up towards the front. That marabou is just not playing fair. I don't think my thread is either. There we go. Go behind it, in front of it, grab our scissors. This is where I like to adjust my marabou around a little bit, so that way we get it good enough coverage on the sides to where you really have a hard time noticing. Looks real good there. This is definitely way too much marabou still, so we're going to just trim off another chunk. This is a fly that the material needs to be sparse. If you've ever tied Clouser minnows or anything like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. The sparseness is key. But on this one, the sparser you make it, the easier it is to see that little orange sac in the center, which is exactly what you want to be seen. You just don't want it to cover up too much. Alright, we'll go ahead and whip finish that. Just like so. Trim off our thread, and there you have it. Looks real nice. Here, I'll even wet it so that way you can kind of see. That's what it kind of looks like in the water, but when the water gets it all wet, you can see right to that orange little spot in the center. It looks real nice. So there it is, the Miracle Minnow. Thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing my videos if you do. I'll see you guys on the next one.